This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up, and welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and special welcome to Zach today. And we're super excited to get to know you, Zach.
Oh, cool. I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's start all the way back at the beginning. Who are you, where are you from, and how did you find yourself in real estate?
Oh, man. Well, my name is Zach Coletti. I am in Sebastian, Florida. Sebastian in Vero Beach, Florida, which is like centrally located on the East Coast. Why I got into what's got me started into real estate? Well, my grandfather used to be a broker a long time ago, and in Orlando. And he always wanted me to. He always was telling me to get involved in real estate, do something in real estate. I didn't want to have anything to do with real estate. It didn't excite me at all. So I wanted to be a musician. So I ended up being a touring musician for many years. And
Awesome.
yeah, one day my mom called me up. She lived in Arizona at the time. I lived in Colorado. That's where I grew up. And
Where'd you grow up in Colorado?
Denver, Arvada is where I went to high school.
I'm from Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo. Grown quite a bit now.
Yeah, it is really grown. And, actually their housing prices are still pretty reasonable down there. But other than that, it's turned into a big city,
Yeah, it's all going to be one big city right up 25.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. So she called me up. I was, we were playing in, I was playing in a band, and I had a day job, and I think it was like, should I tell my age? I'm 48 now. I was 31 at the time, and my mom called me up. She said, "Let's go to Port St. Lucie." I said, "What's that?" It's a little town in Florida. It looks like it's awesome. The market's going crazy in Florida. Have you ever seen it? So we flew down in between Jean and Francis, the hurricanes, and we looked at some property. I didn't tell you, my grandfather passed. When he passed, that's when my mom called. She said, "Let's fulfill his dream." And so I was open to it. So we moved out here, bought some spec homes. We bought some flips, some homes that we were going to flip. So I figured I'd just learn how to do this stuff while I'm doing it. And then the market crashed. And that really hurt. It hurt because we lost the entire inheritance that my grandpa left us.
Wow.
And so I wasn't going to let that beat us. I wasn't going to let that defeat us. And that's when I decided that I was going to get my real estate license and really turn this thing around. And so that's the long story short.
No, that's an incredible story. Walking in the shoes that, Grandpa left for you and left some footprints in the mud. And I think that's awesome. And you didn't let it get you down. But Zach, how did you come across EXP? What's your story on how you were introduced to that?
Awesome company. So when I finally got my license, it took me a while. I mean, I got licensed in 2015. That's when I ultimately made the decision. I went to a brokerage that was kind of a big dog in the area, but they're local. When I went there, I just, the gloss wore off pretty quickly. I wasn't really happy about it. I didn't like the way that the brokerage model was run. So I went off to a little boutique brokerage over on the island for a short period of time. That was cool. I learned a lot. The broker she was awesome. She taught me so much about contracts, and I really was able to glean a lot of information, a lot of knowledge from her. Ended up going over to KW for about a year maybe a little over a year. Nothing's bad to say about the model. And then I saw one of my mentors, one of the people that was in my mentor program, talking about why they went over to EXP. And I just started doing some research, just started, just kind of turning over rocks, asking people about it, watching videos. And it just made a lot of sense to me. It made a lot of sense. And so once I really had all the information that I needed, I jumped. I found a great sponsor and made the change. Pretty much it was, once I had made the decision, it was easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you see the model, you can't unsee it. And, it's great that you had a mentor at that brokerage, to kind of get your, I guess, whereabouts about you and, really come into this brokerage with, the footing that you needed. But Zach, what makes you say, I am never leaving EXP? What do you love about it here?
I just recently got my broker's license, and I have no intention of opening my own brokerage, specifically because I can build a team. Generally, the reason why you'd want to build a brokerage is so you have a sellable asset. And I can build a team within the brokerage EXP, and that can be a sellable asset. It doesn't have to be a brokerage. I don't have to worry about all the headaches of actually owning the brokerage itself. All the staffing that it requires, all the legalities that it requires to have a brokerage. I work in a brokerage that handles all that for me, and the expense, what we call our splits is minimal. $16,000, and if you perform, you're going to get all that back in stock ownership. So why would I want to leave that? I'm going to invest my money anyway. Yeah. Why wouldn't I invest it in the company that I work with? I have the utmost faith in Glenn Sanford, the CEO of EXP, and his team. And real estate's not going anywhere. And if there's anybody on the forefront of technology, it's him and his team. So that's the reason why I'm never leaving EXP.
Yeah, you want to stick with the trailblazers. I get it.
That's it.
Absolutely. Well, Zach, obviously you're busy. You do a lot of high production because you are on the Icon podcast, which means you're an Icon agent. And at the end of the day, how do you take care of Zach? How do you make sure that you're not on full-blown burnout mode all the time?
I don't know if I've really gotten that figured out yet. We're working on it.
Ask that question. Everybody does.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty common answer. I do really. I have a great mentor and a great coach, and one of the first things he told me, and I don't recommend this for everybody out there. If you're a single agent, don't do this. But one of the first things he told me is, if you're going to build a team, number one, you got to get your cell phone off of everything. And you have to make sure that you have, barriers or protect your time, because that's the most valuable asset that we have. We're never earning time back. Money is renewable. We can do that. Time we can't. We can't do that. So protect it as best you can. I have people in place. I have a phone system in place. I don't take texts on my phone system. My phone number is not on listings, so I'm not. I have people to answer the phone and systems in place to make sure that agents are being contacted or being communicated with for our listings. So that it's really all about systems. If you put systems in place to protect your time, help you protect your time, that's where you're going to get your time back. And then with that, you can do whatever you want with that time. Generally, I'm not working on the weekends. I don't work with buyers specifically. Personally, I have people on my team that work with buyers. They're well trained. They're better than I am. They're better than I would ever be with buyers. I want them to work. I want my specialists to work with people. So we have raving fans and extremely happy people. So, putting these systems in place, that's what helps me protect my time. And I've got two kids and a wife, and, we've got things that we want to do with our lives. And, if all I do is dedicate myself to working 24/7, burnout's a real thing, and I've experienced it. I don't want to do that.
Absolutely. No. And, I've actually heard something that it takes like 2 to 3 years to officially recover from burnout, which is
I've never heard that before, but it certainly makes sense because, I have had burnout and I still sometimes feel it, and I just got to sit back and maybe read a book, turn off the phone. Yeah.
Like reconvene yourself and do what recharges you. But yeah, it can take 2 to 3 years to recover from burnout, which is crazy. So you've got to take care of yourself right now so that you don't have to work on repairing yourself over the next several months. And I think that's incredibly important, whether you take into consideration some of the things that Zach has implemented, like not leaving his personal number on it so that, he's setting those boundaries between business and home life and whatever else it takes. It's okay to set those boundaries. It's okay to say no.
It is
Because
okay. It is okay.
that leaves
You
you being
gotta
the best
say that again.
I said it leaves you being the best person you can be if you've got the energy, right?
It's true. I mean, if you're trying to be the best person you can to everybody you talk to, you're probably not going to be the best person to the right people.
Right.
And so it's important that, I don't have to take every phone call, and, I don't have to go on every appointment. There are certain ways that we're going to be able to filter out the people who are very serious and who want to work with us. And again, that protects my time as well. So, when I go on a listing appointment, they've gone through a pre-qualifications, program or system before I even step in the door. I don't want to be asking the discovery questions when I'm there. We're going to ask the discovery questions before we go out there. And again, I'm kind of getting in the weeds here, but there are so many ways that you can protect your time, and you have to make that a priority. If you're a real estate agent, a real estate team leader, anybody, if you don't protect your time, I promise you it will be used, and it's probably not going to be used in the way that you really want it to be.
No, 100%. Protect your time. It's okay to do that. And, it adds up because, the time that you spend recharging is the time that, you can put more effort into the valuable things. And Zach, something valuable about yourself is that you have iconed with EXP, which is a big deal. Top 2% of agents do that. And, not everyone who's cranking out the production qualifies. You got to go through a vetting process. You got to be able to give back to the culture at EXP. So, I guess this is going to be a multi-part question. And the first part would be, what does production look like for you in your market? We don't need to talk numbers because our heads will spin here. But, about how many houses do you have to sell and get done to icon and cap?
Well, we did 60 last year. We're going to do 120 this year. I don't really know. That's a horrible answer. I don't know the exact number of houses that it took for us to cap. But if we look at our, average price point, sale price point, it's, like probably around $320,000. I'm not going to say do the math, but I'm going to say probably about 40 houses, maybe 42 houses is what it took me to icon.
Sure. Okay.
Like
awesome.
Yeah,
that's a good gauge. And like we touched on a little bit ago, you have to give back to the EXP culture to icon. So what do you do? Are you a coach? Are you a certified mentor? Do you teach an EXP world?
Yeah, actually, so this is, my first year with EXP. So this was new to me. I love the idea. I love giving back, and I chose to teach in the EXP world. So we're going to be doing 6 consecutive classes. And it's really going to be about, it's called Controlling the Conversation 3 Ways for more success at your appointments, at your listing appointments.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the more success you've got at those appointments, and then, they're recommending you to your friends and warm leads, and it just creates a pipeline, which is incredible.
100%. And you don't want to go on your listing appointment and then be scrambling, wondering what to say, wondering how to respond to, if you get any objection handlers, really feeling uncomfortable, and perhaps, maybe the lead or the client's feeling uncomfortable. So I'm going to be laying out 3 ways to really have much better communication when you're sitting at the table with your prospects.
Absolutely. And, Zach, I'd like to know, what have you enjoyed most about the Icon Award? So you get to cap, you get your cap back in stocks. You get a nice, pretty trophy that I see up there behind you. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do. And it's hard to miss that thing. It's pretty recognizable. And what has been your favorite part? The opportunity to go to EXPCon and shareholders as an icon, the icon breakfast, whatever. What have you enjoyed most about?
That's a cool question. The recognition for me doesn't really resonate so much. I'm kind of an introvert, believe it or not. So I'm not really big into like going out to parties and, being recognized for a bunch of stuff. But what I do like, this might sound shallow, but what I really, really got excited about was seeing the stock go into my stock account. I thought that was I was like, this is awesome.
That's not shallow. That's
what
awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, that to me was like, that's totally cool. I absolutely love this company for this. The fact that, we're rewarded for doing a great job with ownership of the fastest growing brokerage in the world. And that just really resonated with me.
Yes, absolutely. And I think last night was it that I saw, and it doesn't matter if people are listening to this podcast like 6 months from now, what happened last night, but that we had just sold past 79,000 agents at EXP.
That's amazing, man. It's like growing exponentially. It's amazing.
Yeah. Nice play on words there, Zach. I see you. I see you emphasizing the brand. That's awesome. Well, and like those stock awards is something cool. That's not something you're going to earn back in any other brokerage, let alone any other company out there, right? Nobody's going to give you $16,000. Sorry. Yeah. But you have the opportunity to earn that back here at EXP. It's incredible. It's unheard of. And it's exciting. What better way to retain your employees and get them stoked about your company growing than to give them a piece of the pie, right?
Absolutely. Awesome. I mean, we're at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're at, but if you, and what I mean by that is if you just measure them all side by side, which one would you go to? The one that you actually are granted ownership. You can still do really well anywhere else, and you'll get the trophy. You might get a plaque, you might get your name somewhere, but do you actually own? Are you getting your money back in stock ownership with the potential for it to grow even bigger?
Are you getting your stock back, or are you getting a paperweight? What do you?
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. A little trinket. A little pat on the shoulder. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's cool. Everybody loves that. Everyone loves that. But where's the value? Where's the true value in something like that? And that's something so unique about EXP. And Zach, I'd like to kind of talk to the rookies that may be listening right now. They see this Icon Award. Heck, it may even be why they chose EXP as their brokerage. The opportunity to earn cap back, all of this excitement. And they're coming into EXP and it's like drinking water out of a fire hose, right? There's a lot going on. 150 hours of training a week, trying to build leads in your funnels and, working with your mentors and what? I have to build a downline eventually too. I guess you never have to build a downline, but an Icon I talked to the other day makes $8,000 to $9,000 a month off of her downline. So build a downline. Nonetheless, so for the rookies listening, how can they strive for the Icon Award? Is that something achievable in their first year? And where are some places that you may have fallen short when you were reaching for Icon, or some strategies that really helped you achieve it? Just some advice.
That's a multifaceted question, so I'll try to knock them all out. Some challenges that I had, I really didn't. Luckily, I was established enough, and I knew enough about real estate, and I had been in it long enough to where reaching Icon wasn't like a gigantic challenge for me, and that's kind of a neat thing. I want to just touch on that. If you are any kind of producer, you don't have to be some gigantic major producer, but if you go to work and you do your job and you learn and you do well and you sell 40 houses, in some markets it'll be way less, but in my market, 40 houses is gonna get you Icon achievement. We're pretty middle of the road here in Florida, and it's like that's not too hard. I mean, really, I think so there are new agents that are coming in and they're selling 100, houses in their first year, which is awesome. Boom, you've reached Icon. You don't have to worry about, that split, that so many people are worried about. It's you're going to get it back in stock, and then of course you get 8,000 back in stock, and then you have the opportunity to gain another 8 back by going to the shareholder summit and by, giving back to, giving back to the community. Like for me, I'm going to be teaching a class, so I get $4,000 for doing that. But you only get those opportunities if you reach Icon.
Right.
So
Zach,
it's not that hard.
What are you on in your classes?
Say that again.
What are you going to be focused on in your classes, like EXP World? What are you teaching?
That's going to be the 3 ways, or the controlling the conversation. It's called controlling the conversation. 3 ways to better success at listing appointments. So that's going to be my class.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, helping people understand.
Like you said, opportunities you don't get unless you Icon, and that's the really cool thing about EXP World, because you are getting these lessons from the best of the best in the industry too. It adds critical value to these lessons.
That's true, and that's a great point, because there are other companies that have agent training, but the agents that are doing the training haven't really proven themselves, or they're not, they might have, they just be reading out of a book, and I'm not going to name any names, but they didn't really actually forge the path. They didn't do it.
Right.
They haven't had as much success to be able to warrant the training that they're teaching. So, yeah, we've done it as an Icon. To be able to do this, you've got to reach Icon status, and to reach Icon status, you got to kind of have some success.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And, Zach, did you ever look at EXP and you were like, oh, I don't know about this. Like, I hear things like this, that they're a pyramid scheme and, they're a cult, don't drink the Kool-Aid. So, if you could go back to your past self and talk that person off the ledge to make the jump sooner, or to anybody that might be listening right now about EXP and wondering if they should make the same jump, what would you have to say to them?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did actually have some hesitations at first when I first heard it. There was an agent here who really jumped on it right away, and I think everybody was sort of scratching their head, including me, like, what is this? What's this EXP? What? And that's as far as I took it. I didn't really look into it, and then the more I looked into it, that's when I realized, I need to jump. But it's not really, I think it's proven now. The model's proven itself. What are we in 16 countries now? And it's the fastest growing real estate company by agent count and volume, and or maybe not volume, but units. And it's, it's real. It's the real deal. So if you're hesitating, or if you think that it's some sort of pyramid scheme, here's the thing, guys. Every brokerage is a pyramid scheme. The only problem is, the only difference is that there's one or a couple of people at the top of the pyramid at the brokerage that you're at. Here, you're at the top of the brokerage. I mean, top
right.
of the pyramid.
It's like it's upside down, right?
It's an upside down. Yep, exactly.
It's like the founders are here and they've given you the bones to build your structure and recruit and everything else, and then all the money's kind of going to the agents, right? Agent centric.
That's it. That's where it's going. And the other, and the other brokerage models, I mean, they need to recruit too. They have to recruit to survive. So the broker or the owner of the franchise can make money. It's right. It's a different philosophy here, and it's awesome. And of course, different things tend to scare people away. And it's too good to be true, or is it sustainable? I think it's proven itself. It's definitely sustainable, and it's growing, and it's awesome.
Absolutely. So well said, Zach. And we are creeping up on 25 minutes here. And I think it's been a great episode, super insightful. And is there anything you would like to leave the listeners with as we wrap up today?
Just if you're considering making the jump to EXP, I'm not going to tell you to just do it. Obviously, just do your research. There's plenty of guys and gals out there to glean information from. Go to YouTube. You can call me. I don't know if you can put my number up. Call me. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about it. But whatever you do, make sure you definitely look into it. Don't leave it on the table and leave money on the table. Leave great opportunity on the table.
Absolutely. So well said, Zach. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to catching up with you at either Shareholders or EXPCon.
Cool. I'll seek you out, Gianna. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.